Hello, hello, I am Bridget Rowe. I am energy, I am powerful, and I am who I say I am. The purpose of this video is to talk about feminine energy and the feminine aura because it was requested by some people who I consult with and they wanted to learn more, so I decided to compile some questions and just answer these questions for everybody to hear in an effort to help them in their journey. So the title of this particular video is going to be, I'd rather be respected than to be screwed. Okay, let's just jump in. The first question is, describe feminine aura. Feminine aura to me, first of all, has nothing to do with the physical. The feminine aura is like an energy. It is like the surroundings or the atmosphere of the feminine being that it comes from. It is the energy that is present in the room before a couple of seconds before you walk into it. It's the same energy that you carry around, but even when you leave about a room, it lingers for a couple of seconds and then the energy or room changes. And this is why people will say there's a shift in the room, there's energy, something feels different. And how people will begin to get more relaxed or whatever when certain people leave out of the room because their aura, their presence was there. And so when we're dealing with the feminine energy, men can pick up on the presence of feminine energy, whether it is at a low frequency or high frequency. Because man, they are attracted to the feminine energy, and it's like the yin and the yang. Anyway, so a man will pick up on your energy, whether it is low frequency. You'll be communicating that low frequency of feminine aura by, when it's low, most often than not, you constantly spend time in your head with self-doubt. Self-doubt talk like, I wonder if I'm pretty enough. I wonder if he's going to hurt me like the other one. I wonder, if he's a cheater. I wonder if my makeup is good, or if he likes me, just whatever you're thinking inside your head that is negative jibber jabber. Well, that particular self-talk is allowing your aura to resonate on the frequency of seeking validation from the masculine energy, and they can feel that immediately when they have any type of dialogue with you. So if your aura is at a higher frequency, though, you're not in your head anymore. You know that you are connected to all things in the universe. And so when the masculine energy shows up in your physical reality, you're like, oh, look what the universe delivered. What could I learn from this situation? I wonder how much fun we're going to have. I'm ready to explore this, And so you're no longer in your head. You're living in the now moment. And because you're living in the now moment, you are exuding an aura of confidence. And so this confidence that you're exuding is because you've done the self-work. You've mastered yourself, not others. You've mastered yourself. And so you know who you are. You're in tune with all things, and you're not afraid anymore of not engaging with the masculine energy or engaging in it, because you know that there's this energy that allows them to free flow in and out of your life. That there's always more. It's almost like the men are like buses, and you're sitting at the bus stop. You know that there's another one coming. So you're not sitting at the bus stop seeking validation. You're sitting at the bus stop knowing, confident in knowing that there's another one coming. The next question that I have here is, how do you awaken your feminine aura? And so my answer to that, and I'll speak only of me, I only speak of my experiences and the things that I have been through in my physical reality to help others. I believe that it is all part of you mastering self. So you awaken the feminine aura because you get to a point where you have fallen down maybe a couple of times, and you decide, okay, I'm not going to stay at this level. I want to evolve. I'm going to get up and I'm going to do something with my energy. And you just choose to do the self-work, and whatever that is for you, you choose to do it. Now for me, I talked in one of my videos invoking the goddess of Shun That was when my feminine aura reached a higher peak. And now in hindsight, I feel as though in this physical reality, we're all on a journey of invoking and becoming greater. You know, I talk about invoking, of becoming the goddess of Shun, and it reminds me of this game PacMan. When I was a little girl, and still now, I still like to play this game PacMan. And PacMan is a game where PacMan, you know, are controlling this PacMan, and you're going around the screen eating these little pellets. You get points for eating these pellets. Meanwhile, they have these ghosts that are trying to come and attack you, and they can eat you, they can consume you. But in the four corners of the game itself, there are larger pellets you as PacMan can consume. And when you consume the larger pellets, you get more points, but at the same time, you get more power too. You have so many seconds, and now you could turn around and consume the ghosts that you were running from. Those making it difficult for you to clear the board, you know, the pellets off the board. And once you consume it, clear the board, then you're free to go on to another level. I look at that game as if, okay, in our physical reality, we have all kinds of situations. We have fear, we have anxiety, we have loneliness. We have all of these things in our physical reality. But until we allow that energy to flow, until we consume them, even deities, until we consume it, just like the goddess of Shun, until we consume it and become it, that's at the becoming stage, we become greater, and then we're able to exit that particular level and go to a higher level. And so that's what I was speaking of when I talked about invoking the goddess of Shun. I became it, and I allowed my energy to flow into a higher level. And so prior to doing that, I was already doing work. I was doing already self-work, because I had started doing self-work by dancing. Because dancing, I used to always love to dance. You name it, that's the kind of dance I did. That's the kind of dance I'm talking about, because I did it all. And it was fun, and I did the dancing because just moving and dancing allowed for feminine energy. It felt so sexy. I did that because of the way that it felt. I also, in my journey, started putting away those things that didn't feel so feminine. You know, because I came up in, you know, by default, came up with in a house where, you know, it was all girls at the time, and so we had to do maybe some boyish type work. You know, my stepfather sometimes had us cutting grass and you know, and helping him with his hard labor work that he did at the time. And so as an adult, growing and becoming single, and you know, there's some things that by default you just start doing, and you don't feel too feminine when you're doing them, like cutting grass, you know, or whatever. Something that I may have enjoyed, but in my journey, it got to a point where, you know what, I want to lay down that strong woman type thing. It just became a moment where, you know what, there's just some things that I just won't do no more. And I'm not going to do no more. And so that helped too, you know. Another thing that I did was years ago, I think it's called blackpeoplemeet.com, whatever, about 10 plus years ago. I got on that for a while because I was always shy. I was always introverted. So my purpose for getting on that was really to train myself in order to, you know, get past my shyness. And so I would get on there, and to get it on there, you know, I would, you know, I'm on the back end now. I'm on the back end. I could hide. You know, I'm in the virtual computer world, like, you know, and I could hide, but I could speak my truth though. Even though I was shy and nervous still behind the computer screen doing it, I was able to speak my truth to the people that I was talking to, and I was able to just transform my energy, so to speak. I could be the seductive woman. I could be the little shy girl. I could be the bold woman to these strangers that I was, you know, talking to on this little match.com, dating.com. It wasn't the purpose of going out on a date with none of them. It was just me speaking my truth, me teaching myself to allow that fear, that shyness to flow. Allow it so you could find peace with it. Allow that sweat to drip down your back while you're nervous about this, and find peace with that. You know, that anxiety, that fear, that pain, that loneliness, whatever it is, find peace with it. And so that's what I did behind the screens. But then I got a little stronger, and so I wanted to come from behind the screens. And so then I started doing it in my physical reality with people that I would meet, with men that I would meet. I didn't go for the, the alpha male in the beginning. Now I can, but back then I didn't. I started off at a lower level. I started off with men who I really didn't, see the physical attraction with. But I know I needed to learn how to speak my truth. And so I used them. I used my reflections at that time in order to have that experience, in order to challenge myself and train myself. So I used them, say for example, if I wanted to get past a point where I allowed people to just talk to me when I knew that I had other things to do, well, I will call one of them and let them talk. And in the middle of them speaking, I'll be like, wait, hold up, I gotta go, bye. And I'll just hang up the phone. And I would try to make sure that how I felt was the most important thing. And I would try to get over that, oh my gosh, oh, that was so wrong type energy, that in your head type thinking. So anyway, those were some things that I did. I would, start just eating right, just eating a healthier lifestyle, choosing a healthy lifestyle, because that made me feel good. That made me feel good about myself. And so I wanted to challenge this here, these feelings, these emotions, and not run into a filler. Because oftentimes we run and we'll find a filler, and sometimes that'll be, like the women that get 9 cats in their house, that'd be their little filler, some of them. Or a filler could be just running and jumping back into another relationship when you don't know nothing about yourself just yet. You still never went in and mastered self or mastered the emotions. And so sometimes a man, another partner, another rebound relationship, they call it, that could be a filler. Men have fillers too. Some of them, they'll get their little Corvette when they're 50, 60 years old, and they'll be their filler. Or they'll get like a younger woman, that's their filler. And I didn't want to have a filler. So for me, I mastered self by going inside of self and dealing with self. And so my next question here is, let's see. Share some feminine qualities. Share some feminine qualities. So if I was to call out some feminine qualities, I would say this feminine aura that I'm speaking of, this feminine aura is worthy. She knows her worth. And her worth is more important than his ego. This feminine energy is fearless because she's not afraid. She's not afraid to walk away. It doesn't matter how good that vitamin D is. It doesn't matter how delicious the man looks on the outside. She's intelligent. She's intelligent because she has a strong mind. Because she knows that all things are mental. She's positive. She's positive because she has this win-win attitude. She knows that things are always working out for her. She's an expert. She's an expert because she has sat there and mastered those emotions. She's a leader. She's a leader because she knows that that feminine energy is magnetic and it has the power to draw, or should I say lead, men to her. She's seductive. She knows when and how to be seductive. And she knows because she would like sometimes to increase her desire. So she can be seductive by touching, by looking, by the way she's speaking, by the way she walks, by eating, by texting, by woo 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 woo. She's seductive. She's caring. She cares about herself first. She realizes that her health is her wealth. She cares about her inner self and her outer self. For her inner self, she cares about the way that she feels. For her outer self, she's not the type of woman that'll be walking around with like crusty feet, you know, crusty heels. She has a sense of humor. Because she can sit there and she can laugh at herself about things, or we'll call them the mistakes, the so-called mistakes that she's been through, knowing that they were perfectly orchestrated in her life to get her to the place to where she was always meant to be. She's full of life. Matter of fact, she has a life, like a passion, a purpose that she knows of and love to do. So she has a life before she becomes a wife. And she might not even desire becoming a wife. But even in the dating world, dating is not a priority to her because she already is in love with her purpose and her passion. So a priority of hers is just living her best life and being happy while doing it, you know? And last but not least, she is confident. She has enough confidence inside of her that she set expectations for those who choose to be in her physical reality, knowing how human nature works. Because she knows that she must set expectations for them in order for them to respect her. Because in her mind, she'd rather be respected than to be screwed. And so those are the qualities that I believe that the feminine aura or energy possesses. The next question I have here, let's see. Why do you feel feminine energy is kryptonite for men? Well, I never really said that I felt that way, but I do agree with this question. I believe that it is kryptonite for men. And the short, simple answer onto why I feel that way is because men can be tricked or even turned on or turned out, whatever you call that, by transvestites. And it is simply because of that desire for the feminine energy. And men are visual creatures. And so transvestites have that in the physical reality. They have that with the hair, with the walk, with the aura, you know. And so that's why it's kryptonite. Sometimes some of the transvestites have it more than the women who were born into the physical reality has it, you know, that feminine aura. They'll have it a little bit more because of what maybe the woman has been through. And so yes, I agree with that question that it can be kryptonite for men. The next question is, what makes a woman want to be a pick-me chick? What makes a woman want to be a pick-me chick? Well, I don't believe any woman is walking around saying, hey, I want to do that in my physical reality. I don't believe that much. I believe that women result to being a pick-me chick by default, so to speak. Some of the things that they've been through, even just how society is today, you know. Because in society, you know, you grow up as a little girl and you playing with Barbie and Ken, and Barbie and Ken getting married and dating, and, you know, the picket fence and the dog, and we have the tea time, and we look at movies, and with the happily ever after, we think about the stories, the Cinderella stories, and all the little girls, they long for that in their physical reality. And then when time goes by and they haven't received their happily ever after, they may start to feel some kind of way. And so they'll be saying choice words like, my biological clock is ticking, when there is no clock, when time is an illusion. So this clock that they're talking about that's ticking is really their mind inside of them that's ticking, that's going, you're getting older, where's your happily ever after? And so it's saying, pick me, when it's going to be my turn. You know, that's what that clock is saying. Oh my gosh, you're getting wrinkles. Oh my gosh, you're getting older. Oh my gosh, you're 50. It's this head talk. Okay, next question. How does a woman refrain from being a pick-me chick? And I would answer that question by simply saying learning how to pull back sometimes. You know, learning how to let the man, well, not learning, but allowing the man to call you. allowing the man to text you, allowing the man to ask you out on a date. And it's okay if you called or if you text first. It's okay. But remember that. And sit back and allow him to call or text you the next time. And while you sitting back, it allows for you to better understand if he even likes you. If he'll ever call you. It allows for him to, or better yet, you to see if he's putting forth any effort into you. And that's really important along the dating process, you know. You want to see that. Another thing you could do is have a life outside of wanting to be a wife. You know, have a passion, have something that you desire to do that really you're in love with. You know, you could also date more than one person at a time. So that way you're not having that thought of, even with your passion and with dating, you don't have to be sitting there thinking about that person the whole time, because now you have a life and you have other people to entertain you. And so you're not fixed on just one person. And finally, I would say the answer to that question is just having a goal before you even go out on a date. And the goal should ultimately be live in the now. Have fun tonight on purpose. Just have fun on the date. That should simply be the goal. Having fun. Instead of thinking about getting married. This is only date number one. You don't know if that's the one. Let's not even consider him being the one. And let's just have fun and enjoy the journey. And so, let's see. The next question I have here. What is it to be understood about the thrill of the chase? And for my answer on that one, just understand that the thrill of the chase is supposed to be fun. The thrill of the chase is supposed to be a chase. There is no chase if you're saying, okay, here's my heart, here's my intimacy, here's all of my time. Go, come and get it. Like, who gonna run to come and get that? The person be like, okay, well, just set it down. I'm gonna get it when I need it. You know, I'm gonna get it later on. There's no thrill. There's no chase. Sometimes we just freely give without the thrill of it all. And so I'm saying that because people in general, in human nature, they put value on things that they have to work for. So don't forget that, you know, keep that in mind, even when dating. Keep that in mind. There was somebody that I consulted with, and I shared this story. I'm going to share this story with you all. And it is a story, I just call it deer versus fish. So once upon a time, there was this man who wanted to go deer hunting. He had never been deer hunting. He wanted to go with his boys, his guy friends. And so his desire was to go hunting, catch a deer, and have deer meat that night for dinner. They had planned, they had rented a truck to go out into the woods to go deer hunting. It was a Saturday morning that they had planned to do it. The day had finally came, and he couldn't sleep the night before because he was so anxious to go. As he was getting dressed, you know, he had his camouflage clothes and everything. He was getting dressed and he heard the doorbell ring. He thought it was his guy friends out front, but he opened the door and there was nobody there. All they had there was an ice chest in front of his door. And the ice chest, he opened it up and they had a bunch of fish in the ice chest. On ice. Freshly caught fish, just sitting there. Fish that he ain't asked for. He didn't have the appetite for. And so he decided he'll just leave it just sitting right there because he didn't want fish. And he thought to himself, well, maybe later on this week or so I'll get some fish later. But today I want to go hunting. Today I want to go hunting for deer that I've been wanting for a long time. So He finished getting dressed, and then he hears the horn from his friends outside, and he's leaving, locking the door. He leaves the fish sitting right there, not even realizing how long he be gone, not caring about the time he left the fish sitting there. All he was excited about is just getting in the truck and just going, because he wanted to go hunt. The thrill was there. So him and his friends get to the woods. They get to the woods and they didn't see it in there for a while. So they just chilling, just talking. And then, to his surprise, he sees a deer. He sees a deer just sitting there, well, standing there, so to speak, just looking worthy, just looking confident, looking full of life. And so he goes to grab his rifle, and he's just staring at the deer, admiring her confidence. And then there was a noise that the deer heard, and so the deer starts running away. And he told his friends, quick, 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 get into the truck. We're going to go to the back of the woods. We're going to cut her off. Hurry, I want this deer. And so they have this adrenaline pumping, and they're traveling in the truck. They go through water. They have to go up a small mountain just to get to the back of the woods in order to cut off the deer. They make it to the back, and there the deer is, thinking she's got away. There she is, just looking fearless. And the guy gets the rifle and he takes the shot. He takes the deer home. He has his deer meat that night for dinner. And he gets the deer mounted, stuffed and mounted to put on top of his mantle above the fireplace. And now every time somebody comes over for a holiday or just a friend of his, he had to tell everybody the story about that deer in the moment when it almost got away. Now keep in mind, women, you are the deer. And it is always hunting season. It will feel so good to be the deer placed on top of the mantle. That is like the prize. The one that he tells everybody about. Because he had the opportunity to experience the thrill of the chase with you. Versus being the fish, the little stank ass fish that just plopped up in front of the door. Just dropped by. That he said, you know what, I don't desire you today because you give off the energy of being the pick-me chick, and I didn't want any fish today. Maybe I'll fool with you a little bit later, but today I want to go hunting for a deer because that's what my appetite is for today. And so he leaves her, the pick-me chick. Now, nowhere in this story does it exist any of the other deers that were in the woods that ran behind the truck and said, no, why doesn't anyone pick me? No, don't leave me in the woods. When is it going to be my turn? So choose to be the deer. So that is my answer as to what is it to be understood about the chase. It's so much fun. It's so rewarding. Okay. So the next question is, how do you use your feminine energy to connect with a man? And the simple answer to that is just by knowing that you are feminine energy. And you are magnetic by being feminine energy, and that you have that comeback. And I have with me for this one, because I read a long time ago about this rubber band effect. I don't know if I was reading a book or whatever. I read so much stuff. But this one thing stuck to me about the rubber band effect. And this is what the rubber band effect feels like to me. Wait, let me take my rings off right quick and show you something. Okay, so this rubber band When I extend this rubber band out, it's like allowing for that magnetic form of energy to be extended and creating tension and desire and thrill. This is the thrill and chill that I'm talking about, the chase, so to speak, right? The thought, the stimulation of thought. This being extended is when the person, whether male or the female, starts to like the other person more because of this here tension of the rubber band effect. But when the rubber band is just dangling on my finger here, this here is just retracted, and so they're close at this moment. A relationship, it should be like a rubber band effect, you know, because you are that magnetic form of energy. This is your comeback. You as a woman have the power to create the comeback with the things you do, and just by your aura, you know, of knowing yourself and having confidence. So I'm going to show you that, or how that is done. So this is masculine energy, this is feminine energy. They first meet, there's some tension there because they are attracted to one another. They're attracted to one another, you know, physical attraction there. So the guy may ask the woman, this is masculine. So the guy is asking the woman, hey, you want to go out on a date? And the woman just, you know, she gives her number, whatever, and she's like, yes, okay. The woman goes about her business and she waits for the man to call her. That created tension. Or she could have called first. She could have called first and they decided to go on a date. And she allowed him to leave thereafter. Still, that created tension. And so there's tension there. And each date, she's allowing him to come back. Instead of bombarding her with all her feelings, she's allowing him to come back. To make sure that he is interested in her. So he plans another date. And because she's allowing him to plan the dates in his mind, he's like, and she's not being emotional and she's not coming and running toward him just yet. In his mind, he's like, man, I took her on a date. She said she liked it. I'm going to try something else. You know, why she's not head over heels for me just yet. In a sense, he's seeking validation from her at this point, you know. So all of this keeps going until there's so much tension, and then the intimacy takes place. And the tension ends up retracting, you know, because they done climaxed. They're the climax. Now, after the climax, she can ruin this when she gets into those things called those feelings, those emotions. Afterwards, she could call him the next day and be like, oh, Big Daddy, I love you. Oh, that was a hot, steamy night last night, and I love that vitamin D, and oh, you the man, and oh, I think we should move together, and oh, I think I want to have your children. And meanwhile, that rubber band is just dangling now, because now she's smothering him. She's smothering him. Now, if she sits there and allow him instead, while the rubber band is dangling, allow him instead to come toward her, it'll allow for him to think and miss her and think about the others maybe that he's been through and be like, wait, hold up. She didn't call me the next day. I wonder if she liked this vitamin D. You know, she not like the others. What is she doing? I'm wondering, I'm thinking about her. And see, she's building that tension, you know, for him to come back to her. Now, oftentimes in the journey, some women smother the man so much, and it allows for him to, you know, kind of like have that rubber band just dangling. But all the woman does need to do with her magnetic energy is give him that space to think about her, to miss her. Sometimes she may have messed up a little bit too much. She probably got too emotional. And so it might take a couple of days. It might take a couple of weeks. It might take a couple of months. But keep in mind, that woman, if she creates enough of this tension, has that magnetic pull, she has what I call that comeback. So that is the rubber band effect. That is how you can use your feminine energy to connect to a man. And you just extend the rubber band in the relationship and allow it to retract and know how to extend it again by backing up. And it's almost like mirroring the guy sometimes. If he backing up, you back up. And he'll question, okay, wait, she not calling me? I didn't call her, she didn't call me. Let me check on her. Is she with somebody else? It allows for thought to be stimulated. That's what I'm saying. And so people, in generally, human nature, you fall in love with people because you long for them, you miss them. You know, that's why they say absence makes the heart grow fonder. You know, that's when you fall in love. That's when people fall in love and miss because they long and they wonder. And they're not getting that validation. And so they're wondering what that other person is thinking, what they're doing. You see? And so I just want you to know that answer is pretty much just knowing that you have the comeback. And last but not least, there's this final question. Why bees, B-I-T-C-H-E-S, why bees are winning? And the reason why I feel as though they're winning is because they have expectations for themselves that they don't deviate from. They have set expectations for the people that they allow in their physical reality, meaning the masculine energy, that they don't deviate from. For example, they're nothing like the so-called nice girls, you know, who deviate with everything that they do. Because a man can tell a bee, a man cannot call a bee. A man cannot call a bee and a bee because you have a life and because you're probably out there dating other people at the same time. A bee will be like, he didn't call me, huh? Meanwhile, the nice girl, she'd be like, well, I was watching the news and this guy got hurt on the news that looked just like this guy that I'm dating. And so I'm going to just go ahead and call him. He didn't call me, but I'm going to go ahead and call him and check on him. You know, because we got to check on each other. You know, we got to be there for each other. Just making simple excuses why she got to pick up the phone and call it because you're a nice girl. And she didn't establish these expectations, you know. She didn't set them for the person that she dates. And so another example could be that the guy doesn't have enough money to take the woman out. Well, the bee be like, what? You don't have no money? Boy, bye. But the nice girl, she'll be like, well, I just got this bonus at work. And because I got this bonus, you know, the bonus was like thousands of dollars. And so I could go ahead and I could loan him a couple of dollars, you know, a couple of hundred maybe, just so he could get on his feet, you know, because it's hard out here. I understand. I would want somebody to do that for me. You know, what would Jesus do? That's what the nice girl be thinking, you know. Or better yet, the guy who they're both dating could be hungry. He's not nobody's husband. He's just somebody that the bee dates or that the nice girl dates. And he could be hungry. Well, the bee he'll tell the bee that he's hungry. And she would say, oh, I'm so glad you said that because I'm hungry too. What you about to go get us to eat? Meanwhile, the nice girl, she'll be maybe at work or something and she'll be like, well, so-and-so's hungry and I'm so tired, I don't feel like cooking, but I'm going to go ahead and cook, you know. I was thinking about doing some steak and potatoes for him, you know, telling her co-worker at work what she going to do when she get off. Meanwhile, he calls and she's like, hey, babe, how you doing? I miss you. And he's on the phone and he's telling her what else he wants besides the steak and potatoes. And she's like, okay. And it's Dr. Pepper? Oh. Okay, all right. See you later. All right, bye. And she'll continue her conversation. Girl, I'm about to go home early because, well, he's hungry and I was going to do steak and potatoes. I told him he was going to get that, but he wants steak and potatoes and he wants some garlic bread. And now he's talking about don't forget to get the Dr. Pepper from the store. So, girl, I got to go to the store. I gotta go home and cook. I'm so tired. I don't feel like it, but I'm gonna go home and cook. He not gonna be that long though, cause he's just gonna come and eat and he just gonna leave. Yeah, cause he got something to do. He said. Yeah, he's just gonna come and eat and just leave, you know. Girl, cause you know the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. So girl, I gotta go. I gotta go and feed my man, which ultimately is not her man. It's not her husband, but because she's a nice girl, that's the type of energy, the difference of the energy. And I would say that the bee is allowing the man to be a man. Meanwhile, the nice girl, she's playing more of the role of the mother. And the man is not trying to screw his mother. That's some incest kind of stuff. So, pretty much those are the questions that I had today. And I wanted to share those questions with you all. I talked on my most recent videos about 2020 vision, and I know these questions geared toward being inside of the box, but we went into the box to learn how human nature is. But once you evolve to your higher self, you know that now you have an option to actually speak your truth and live in your truth, and you can decide whether or not you want to play inside of the box or not. It's totally up to you. You could decide that the universe will send you some type of soulmate, some type of twin flames that you don't want to play the in the box kind of games with. Now you could take the information that I shared with you and you could sit there and you could judge me. But know this one thing, I am not trying to share my life with you for you to judge me. I am trying to share my life with you because I look at you as if you are my reflection. And so that maybe you could evolve to your higher self and tap into your power, your feminine energy that we all have. But it's up to you. Judge me if you want. Don't grow if you don't want to. We just come back over and do it until we decide to evolve. There's no right or wrong way of doing it. But in any case, just remember, you are energy, you are powerful, and you are who you say you are. Be blessed. Goodbye.